Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the Go Mango Tokucast. I'm your host, Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have
the Cinder Blaze.
My dude, welcome back to this very impromptu episode of the podcast, because episode of Stinger went up, and we had no idea it was coming out today. It was quite the treat, so we're just gonna review it for you guys, since, might as well.
Yeah.
Alex, what did you think about this movie?
Oh, movie?
Yeah.
Well, it's considering it was like an hour long, I guess you can consider it a movie.
I mean, like, normally when they air, like, the mid-season movie stuff,
that's like half
those
an
are
hour.
usually like half an hour. Yeah, exactly. So this is like 2 times the length. I'd call it a movie in terms of toku.
This overall, I had like a positive, vibe from it, but it's not
more so than negative,
Yeah, like it wasn't like bad, but it wasn't like good.
There were So this was directed by Koichi Sakamoto, and I'm like,
I was just gonna ask you about that because of a particular character.
Yeah. You can tell Koichi Sakamoto is on it for one of two things. It's either the really dope fights or girls in short shorts with sweaty legs kicking things. Specifically,
that small detail just makes it a lot more,
small detail. Like, in everything he does, it was there's at least one villain in all of his Kamen Rider or Sentai movies that does that, and it was all over Kyuranger for Ami,
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Gentle was in this movie.
Who?
Gentle?
Who's Gentle?
Amy's butler. He was the main dude. Like, main,
Oh,
main...
Yeah.
He was the, main, I don't know what you call him, resistance guy?
Yeah, like, I recognize the leader of the scumbag village
Right,
people.
yeah.
He's kind of like a mainstay in, like, Toku side character. Not side characters, but, like, one-off characters.
Yeah.
I feel like he's in every single series for a while now.
I think there's some sort of mandate from, like, Toei or someone to have shoehorned in Stinger singing so many times.
Yeah, like...
At some points, it felt like they just wanted to make a Stinger music video.
I mean, they almost made one with him and Tsurugi at the end of that one episode.
The end? Actually, you mean the beginning?
Yeah, it's my...
Yeah.
They cold open.
No, but like that entire montage of the... Oh, by the way, spoilers for this movie. Go watch the movie if you haven't seen it. Like, quickie review, it's fine enough to watch. It's a decent use of an hour. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you already like Kyuranger, if you're like on the fence about Kyuranger, this isn't really going to change your mind. Though I will say it does a lot in terms of just the setting and the overall feel and look to it. There's a level of excitement and a level of just pop that a lot of Koichi Sakamoto's projects have. Like, generally in Kyuranger, everything looks fine, but here everything was absolutely vibrant and not painfully so. everything, if you were a primary color, it showed. And it looked beautiful.
Yeah, they put a lot of effort into special effects, even though at times it did feel a bit excessive.
Right.
I feel like this is a strange compliment to give to like a Sentai series, but the explosions look real nice. Like the way they're like layered and like it just kind of looked beautiful. And adding on to that, at times it was so excessive that it was beautiful in its own regard.
Yeah, like sometimes it didn't even have a reason to happen. I'm fine with them standing there and then it just exploding. That's 100% fine. But if you're just... There was this moment at the beginning of Chameleon Green's fight where she just jumps up from an explosion and starts fighting.
Oh,
that
really
bothered
did not
me a little
anything
bit.
About
okay,
that's
fine. Oh, and also, I don't think it's subbed yet, but along with this came a prequel, which I guess is a thing that Sakamoto does now. A prequel to the movie. It's about the Kyurangers in like a high school wars situation, like Kyuranger high school thing that
would make sense.
Like by yeah.
Why is Kota in
Devos. It? Kotaro?
Yeah.
Well, because they all infiltrate a dark matter school.
Yeah, but that kid's like so hungry for screen time that even in a setting that he shouldn't be in, he's just in there.
Yeah.
We got other people's. I mean, actually, I think only the human Kyuranger showed up besides Champ in this thing. So never mind. I retract that statement. But the one explosion like that really caught my eye, aside from like the Megazord and like the finishers, was after he blows up the big bad of this movie. Stinger's kind of like walking back, and then there's explosions going off continuously, and like they're getting closer and closer, and it kind of looks like the actor's getting worried. And in that slight moment, like, and there's like blood effects too. I just that was probably one of my favorite images of that movie.
Honestly, I think that might be our thumbnail. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. You'll know in the future. Yeah. But yeah, everything was just so vibrant.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm pretty happy with it. Though my issues obviously didn't stem from the
look.
The look.
Yeah. Like that and the action scenes, they were great, honestly.
Yeah. And it wasn't just the look, it was the feel as well. This was something different, a world that you haven't seen in Kyuranger. Normally in Kyuranger, crowds are just so obedient, especially to Lucky. Just, shh! Calm down, let me talk. And then they're like, okay. But then crowds in this, the crowd, the village in this episode of Stinger, they are, and now we're going to get into spoiler territory. They are wailing on the Sakamoto girl.
Yeah, like,
and it's brutal
because it wasn't that important. I think it was like Mari or something.
Yeah, Mari. Yeah. Yeah, so this must have been after she left Smosh Games. No.
Nah, that one's a bit too toasted now.
I'm of two minds of her character, though. On one hand, it did feel nice to have that. You know what? Actually, I'm not of two minds. I did like her character. It's just that the resolution of her character was just to set up Stinger more. Like, I understand that there probably shouldn't be lasting consequences to a supplementary film like this, but having lost the character, it only served to elevate Stinger. I get it. I understand why. It's just that she was great on her own. She had a lot of, I guess, torture to her, dimensionality to her. A lot more so than, Lucky, Hammy, Spada, and like most people on the team. And that's really the reason why I'm drawn to her so much, is because so much emphasis was put on not just, what is her archetype, but who is she, what is her character. We don't get that a lot in Kyuranger, but I feel like when Sakamoto does something, he really puts a lot of emphasis on character.
Yeah, and like going on to like that and kind of like relating it back to like the imagery and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This was like a really visceral
yes.
film. Like the action scenes, like they were getting a bit violent and bloody at times. Not like too bloody because it's still Sentai.
Right,
but,
right.
You could,
but
like,
there was an entire slaughter scene.
Yeah, and it's like it's a bit more like realistic. I mean, the fighting still looks
as
like
realistic
typical,
as you can get.
Yeah, tokusatsu fighting, but it's if you could like consider the parties in like the fight scenes, you have like Mari, who's kind of just like, on this mission to become like part of the Jark matter.
Yeah,
and like murdering the people, and then the people who are trying to like push her out, like you can see like their emotions in their fighting, and it kind of makes it a bit more like realistic, as opposed to when the Kyurangers usually just fight fodder. Like they actually have decent motivations behind them. And like that's one thing, like as you said with her character, she has more dimension, she has more depth than like most of the Kyurangers that we already have. And it's not that hard to add more Kyurangers. You already have like
you've got 88 Q-Tama. I'm pretty sure you could spare at least one or two. We also got to see like the creation of a Q-Tama. Apparently it takes a live sacrifice.
Yeah, but like this is also an easy way to just like add a movie exclusive character just to sell and make some money out of. And I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't take the opportunity with her, but her character did.
Right, but I don't know that you can do that. If you're going to commission the I forgot what they were called, but the place that makes the suits, if you're going to commission them for something, it better be, like usable. You know what? Never mind. I take that back, because like most Sentai suits don't show up again.
Yeah.
Or I mean villain suits. Same with what was it? Death Ryuger, Mito Ninja, the movie exclusive Rangers. So yeah.
Yeah, it would have been like really easy to do here, but
it would have, yeah.
It's a Stinger movie, so like I don't really mind it not being there.
And I can't imagine her actually becoming a Kyuranger.
Yeah, I feel like it would be in an arc of some sort, because she has to redeem her character and like do all of that jazz before she becomes one.
Well, it's not just that. She's too much of a real character for that to actually mesh well with the show. Or as a Kyuranger, she's not Kyuranger material because she's too good to be.
Wow, that's
yeah. I mean, it's technically there's a big conflict between this movie and the actual show, because there's the universe that the show presents to us, and then there's the universe as seen through Sakamoto's eyes that is this movie that we got. And everything has a lot more weight to it.
Yeah, and like the main series is a lot more fun. And this
Yeah.
wasn't like too fun of a movie. It was pretty serious stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like Stinger usually isn't the one that, you know, be starting the gags.
Yeah.
Like, sure, he's the butt of the joke at times, but he usually has like more of the emotional depth out of all of our characters, which also leads into, you know, kind of the whole point of this movie was to set him up for you know, get him emotionally prepared to defeat his brother.
Right, and not just that, to establish the relationship between Champ and Stinger that I thought was sorely missing in the show, and it did almost enough here to where I was okay with it.
It showed up here, but like I feel like Champ didn't interact with enough people to make him feel like he belonged in this movie. Like, you could have just taken him out almost, because I can't remember too many parts where he's actually made much of an impact. You know, I mean, yeah, he's had like...
He was more of a setback than he was a help, actually.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of like Diggle in like the CW Arrow series, where he's just
CW
like,
Ares.
Yeah, Ares. He just gives like that sage wisdom advice,
right?
And that's basically all he did.
But this movie was like its conceit was proving him wrong.
Well, I mean, he was still right in some sense, because...
I guess, but that's only because Stinger found some backwards way to tie it in.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like if Champ just was a bit more helpful, as opposed to just, you know, getting on Stinger's ass about everything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there was solid conflict between them, because he does want to make sure that Stinger's brother pays for his crimes, pays for killing his creator. And I feel like, again, this is where the movie really differs from the show. Everything is a lot more clear cut. When Champ initially, you know, learned that information that Stinger's brother killed Professor Anton, he kind of sort of just let Stinger have that. Like, if you're gonna commit to it, you can kill him. But this movie really showed the sort of peak of that frustration.
Yeah,
like I don't think you're gonna do that, and then they actually fought.
Yeah,
which worked.
Yeah, at that moment, I actually do. Like, the emotions that like Champ was like actually feeling, they were different from like his normal feelings in the main Kyuranger series, where he's just that macho wrestling guy, and he kind of just sticks to that like archetype, as opposed to like actually having his own conflicts kind of dictate his actions, which is what happened here, and just exploded. So
I do appreciate it for that, and I feel like that is something that Kyuranger itself was missing. So this was a necessary supplementary like thing.
Yeah.
Though I do think the show could have handled it, you know. But again, what I don't think where the like I understand that Sakamoto really likes tying things in and making sure things fit, I guess timeline wise, and like make sure this actually works, I guess, in the timeline of the show. But to the movie's credit, it is not beholden to the sort of the world of Kyuranger. He was able to branch out, and I was happy to see that. But
well, the world in Kyuranger was pretty diverse already. It's just that based on like which characters we actually focus on, we kind of see like a different side of it, because we've been having a lot of Lucky right now, so it's a very like optimistic mood in Kyuranger Win. But like when we go back to the Stinger and Scorpio arc, it wasn't like always that happy. Like Stinger was really, just down in the dumps.
Yeah. I feel like that was when Kyuranger was showing the most promise.
Yeah.
Like it revealed all of these threads, but it never like fully tied them up.
Yeah.
And like at this point, the ones that they loosely tied up, I feel like they're all they think that's about it. That's all they need to do. Here they gave us a bit more tightening of the Stinger champ bond,
Yeah. But I feel like we've been a bit too positive with our review, because like at the beginning we said it was positive, but it wasn't like good.
Right, but I as we talk about it, I find it hard to articulate what it is that I didn't like, because everything on paper it should have worked. I just don't know what's doing it. Honestly, it might be the dialogue, or at least how the dialogue informed a lot of weird motivations.
Yeah,
and
it was a real weird construed plot, because I really didn't like how stupid Mari's kind of like conflict was. Like, first of off, she starts saying stuff that Scorpio was saying in the main series, just so we can have a direct parallel. I mean, for a kids series, it's fine to have that there, but it started us off at a really bad like foot,
It did, and the entire framework of this, I feel like we didn't need it.
Well, yeah,
like
that's why it's a supplementary thing.
Yeah,
and if you like Stinger, then you'll probably like this. I mean, I like
no,
Stinger,
not like in the sense that like this didn't need to be framed as a flashback. This could have been its own thing. We could have cut out a lot of time,
Yeah.
The thing that did not work for me, that I really wanted to work, was the scene where Stinger and Mari are trapped under rubble, and he just starts singing. For God knows why, because there's a level of believability that this world presents, and I do not realistically see anyone just singing to someone like that in that situation.
I mean, unless it's like a mother to her child.
Yes.
And they've already set it up that's what she does to calm the child down. But like, Stinger would never do this to Kotaro. Why does he do it here?
I have no idea.
I mean, I know they just shoehorned in the song just to, I don't know.
I'm sure it was
that,
like 3 times, and then a 4th if you count the end credits.
Yeah, I feel like it was just added in there to make it feel a bit more ominous and like serious, and like a bit more of that like that subtle emotion. And hey, the actor can sing decently, so let's just put it in there. Or maybe
again, I do feel like there was some sort of mandate, and it felt weird in the montage of them burying the dead that was happening.
Yeah.
Why are we intersplicing that? I don't know.
Because it's a sad song, and that's a sad moment. Except, I don't know.
I guess I read the lyrics and I listened to it. It sounded more like a hopeful song. Kinda. I mean, I could be wrong. I could have forgotten.
Oh yeah, like, little tangent on that. Finding out that Stinger was part of a boy band was kind of funny. I mean, he technically isn't, but like, just seeing that image, I kind of want to believe in that reality.
Yeah. I do kind of want to touch on the sort of big bad, the priest dude. That dude is properly messed up. Like, that is one of the better villains that Kyurangers had.
Oh, Mr. Thunderbird?
Yeah, he was promoted, rightfully so, because he turned that population against itself. And Dark Matter was like, hey, we need more people like you to do that to a multitude of people. And I like it. I like the idea of someone in Dark Matter who doesn't just fight. He manipulates people into killing themselves. That, I mean, like, that's super dark and all that stuff, but it's really smart. And I like that angle they took with him.
Yeah, like, why are all these magistrates actually in their positions? Aside from, it was a cool suit design. So here they are, and I'll beat them up. Like, this guy actually kind of, like, earned his villain title.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And one last thing that I do want to touch on. We can keep going, but there's one other thing I wanted to mention. Why did we leave on a cliffhanger? I don't get it.
Like,
why did we leave on the Champ going berserk cliffhanger?
Because that's going to be resolved in the main series.
Is it? I mean, where does this fall in the Kyuranger timeline? Why would this movie have consequences, like real big consequences on this show? That's what I'm concerned about. Like, if for some reason suddenly they started searching for Champ because he's lost, that's not what's happening in the next episode. The next episode is a show focus episode. So my question is, where's the resolution going to come from?
I'm pretty sure they already had the resolution for Champ going crazy though in the actual show.
When?
At a certain point, like, didn't he go back in time and like get himself fixed or something? He got fixed before he went back in time.
What are you talking about? No. He's broken right now. Remember, we had an entire Stinger, Champ, and Garu focus episode about him going berserk. Is that the same amount of berserk? Is that the same berserk? I have a lot of questions on where this falls in the timeline. I could probably check the wiki, but for the sake of anyone going in blind, it's really jarring. Like, we end without having one of our main characters and a mystery of, well, when will this be resolved?
I feel like since Stinger doesn't really seem too concerned about it, that the audience shouldn't as well. Which is kind of,
right,
bad in a sense because he's supposed to be his partner. But Stinger honestly doesn't care too much about Champ. At least in that context.
I guess, but Champ straight up just left. He left.
Well, yeah.
That's and everyone, all the Kyurangers, they knew. They were like, oh no, Champ's going berserk again, like they've experienced it already. Oh, it was a secret kept between Stinger, Garu, and Champ. So that leads me to believe maybe this happens after a few events coming up, like when they all figure out, oh hey, Champ's kind of screwed up, and then they go on the mission to the Dark Matter school, and then this happens, and then we go into the rest of that Champ stuff, and then the finale arc.
That would suck, because this is a conflict that you're not supposed to really have at this point.
Exactly, because, like, I don't want a side movie that should be supplementary material to have long-term consequences on the show. Why wasn't it more self-contained? I mean, I do like, longer running narratives and for that stuff to bleed in, but I'd rather have just like some lip service to it, him using the unicorn form and just remembering the person that died. That's all I need. I don't need it to interfere with the few episodes we have left.
Oh yeah, quick thing on that unicorn form.
Yeah.
I remember back in Kyuranger, my favorite ranger was the Black Ranger.
Yeah.
And he had a power up where he could like spin around and do a little drill thing.
Yeah.
And Stinger having that same power up. I really like that, kind of.
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
I'm kind of glad my two favorite Rangers from those series have like the same power up. It's kind of cool.
It's thematic. Yeah, but I think... do you have any other final thoughts about this?
Well, I appreciate Koichi Sakamoto's taste in legs, but...
I will not disagree with you. Why they always have to be sweaty is kind of odd. I do like the fact that he does give us, like, not necessarily all the time strong female characters, but strong female characters. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, power level wise.
Yeah.
Also, she, like, now that you mention it, she was sweaty that entire movie. I don't
most
recall
of the time,
her
yes.
being dry.
Yeah.
She's always fighting.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that just about. Oh yeah, and I'd be remiss to omit the fact that a fandom member was in this movie. Tom Constantine was one of the villagers that gets brutally murdered.
Was he like that one random white guy?
He was the one random white guy. Yes, he was. So congratulations to him. That's pretty cool, dude. Much props. Anyways, that just about does it for us. Do you have any last things to say, Alex?
No.
Perfect. Okay, so with that said, guys, thanks for listening. If you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. I had no idea we were going to do this episode, so this will never happen again, hopefully. Or, I mean, I don't know. Never a surprise one will happen again for us. Maybe surprise to you.
Well,
I don't know.
We won't plan it.
We won't plan it. Yes. Yeah. So, anyways. Oh, and also comment down below. Tell us what you thought about this movie, because I don't think many people know that this is out yet. So I kind of want to hear some thoughts about it. And yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Keep it juicy.
See ya.